I'm gonna show you how to make an end screen for your YouTube videos on your phone that looks like this. So you can remind people to subscribe or simply thank them for watching, and we're starting right now. Okay, so the very first thing that you wanna do for this is you want to download an app called Video Leap. You can install that free through the link in the description down below. Now this video is sponsored by them, but with Video Leap, it allows you to do all of this for free on your phone. This currently only works for iPhone users, but Android is on the way. Once you install Video Leap, what you wanna do is you wanna open it up, and then down at the bottom, you're gonna see this plus icon. You wanna make sure that you click on that plus icon that allows you to add videos. Now, what I've done with my phone is I've went and I've shot just a handful of different things that I could possibly use for the end screen. So I was at a camera shop and I shot some footage here at a camera shop, and I've also shot some stuff at home of my office and my YouTube channel, things like that. But for this example, I'm actually gonna click on the one here that's 18 seconds long because I'm gonna trim that down, and then I'm going to add that to my project. What I have here is I have just I think this is actually recorded in a fast motion so I can slow it down. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to tap on this, and then I'm going to scroll over here to speed. And I'm going to slow this down here quite a bit, and we're going to play it and see how it goes. Perfect. Because what I want is I want that motion, right? I want the motion. I want something happening in the background, but I don't want it to be anything crazy, right? Because it's supposed to complement what's happening, not overpower everything. Because what you ultimately want is you want people to click and go and watch your video that's on your end screen. But once you have the video here, then what you can do, of course, is you can go in, make any adjustments to it that you want. So I'm gonna pump up the contrast a little bit. I'm not gonna worry about the saturation or the vibrance or anything like that, because I'm actually gonna use one of the preset filters here. See if I can find something that looks cool. That's interesting. Yeah, I like this actually. It's not really like all black and white. Let me do a few more. That's cool. Yeah, so we're gonna use that. Oh, that's cool too. Okay, you know, we're actually gonna use NT7 for this. So then once I have that filter selected, then I'm going to back out of this. Now the next thing that I'm gonna do, because again, I want this to be kind of like a complement in the background. I don't want it to be overbearing when somebody is looking at the end screen. So I'm going to click on effects, and then I'm going to click on defocus. And then you can see right there that it has defocused the clip, right? So what I want to do with this is I'm actually going to squeeze this down because I want everything out of focus. I'm going to make that as small as possible. Then I'm just going to move it up here off to the corner to where if it is, still just a little bit in focus, nobody's going to actually notice it. So once I have that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back here again a little bit. I'm actually going to make a quick adjustment here to make this just a little bit more blurry. And I'm going to do that through the slider down here on the bottom. So I'm going to make it just a little bit more blurry. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do now that we have that together is we can see here as this plays that it's just slowly scrolling along some lenses, which works because, I'm a content creator. I'm going to actually shorten this to, let's see here. We're going to cut this at 20 seconds, and then I'm actually going to make it even shorter. So I'm going to long press, and then I'm going to pull this down to the trash can. And then now what we have is we have a 20-second end screen. But I'm going to pull this in a little bit more because I only want my end screen to be, and here's a little side tip for you, I only want my end screen to be about 10 seconds long because I don't want people just kind of hanging out for the end screen. I want them to click and go watch another video. So because of that, I give enough time for people to click, but I don't give so much time that it hurts the retention at the very end of the video. So now that we have that, the next thing that we're going to do, because we have the animation part, is we're going to go and we are going to add some text. So I'm going to double tap the text, and I'm just going to do a thanks for watching. Then I'm going to move this up here to the top. And all I have to do for this is I just hold it down and then I scoot it up here to the top. Okay. And then I'm going to do another text. I'm going to click that at the bottom. Then I'm going to double tap. Remember to subscribe. Okay. So as you can see here, this text is a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pinch it, and then I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Now, one thing that I don't like is I don't like that when I pinch it and I make it smaller, it's considerably smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one down a little bit as well. I'm going to eyeball it just to make sure that it's somewhere, in the ballpark of the same size there so that everything looks nice. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so now we get to do the fun stuff, okay? Because we have the actual structure in here. We have the end screen with the stuff coming up on it. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna try to make this a little bit more interesting. So if you put a thumb on each side of the video down here at the bottom, and you pull, then what it's gonna do is it's gonna spread that out, okay? And I'm gonna do that because what I wanna do is I actually wanna play with this a little bit for the animation. So I'm going to tap on the text right here for the remember to subscribe. And then I'm going to click on animation. Now I'm going to click on in and I'm going to have it scale in. And then whoosh, there we go. So that's scaling in. And then we're going to go back here. There we go. And we're going to have it go back out. We're going to have it scale back out. So basically, whoop, right? So it all goes away. Technically, because it's an end screen, you don't even need it to go away, but it just gives it a little bit more, you know, of that final touch. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click on the thanks for watching. We're going to do the same exact thing. I'm gonna go and I'm going to do a scale in. And just as a heads up, like you can do this as like a flicker to where, you know, it flicks on the screen. You can make it spin when it comes in if you want. You know, the options are pretty much unlimited, really, on what you want to do. But what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to show you a way that you can do this to where it kind of gives it just a little bit more of a vibe when everything is animating into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. And then now what I'm going to do is I want to go down to the remember to subscribe, and I'm going to long press it, and I'm going to scoot it just a little bit. And the reason for that is because I want the thanks for watching to come first. And then as that one's growing in, then I have the remember to subscribe coming in. So what that's doing is that's basically grabbing their attention to the top, pulling their eyes down past the videos that will be on the screen, and then the remember to subscribe thing is there. So it would look like this one played. So really simple there. Now, of course, with Video Leap, you can also do some cool stuff. You know, if you wanted to, you could also add, you know, some filters down there to do pretty much, you know, make it look however you want. It's a pretty awesome app in terms of creativity and ways that you can open yourself up creatively if you choose to. I think that actually looks pretty cool right there. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to do that same thing up here on the top one so that they match. You know what, that color's a little bit off for the background, so let me take that off for now on both of them. Now, what we can do with this, if we really want to start making this thing really go a little bit kind of over the top, is I'm going to click on Mixer right here. And when I click on Mixer, then I'm going to pull in another clip that is similar. I'm going to arrange this. I'm going to pull it down because I want to make sure that remember to subscribe is there. Perfect. Okay, and then for this, I also want to slow this one down. And I'm going to actually move it just a little bit as well. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to frame it in, right? We want this to look cool. That's what we're making it for. If we don't want it to look cool, then we shouldn't even be messing with it. Okay. And then we're going to do that one more time. And I'm going to use that same one up here in the top. There we go. So now what we have is we have some things happening on the top. We have some things happening on the bottom, right? That keeps everything kind of moving, gives it a lot of dimension. It's animated. And, you know, this is all stuff that is shot on the phone, animated on the phone. And I'm actually, because this is darker, I'm actually going to move this around just a little bit, because you can see here I've got that box. Nobody wants to see a box, right? So we're going to move that here. And then I'm also going to go in this particular situation. I want to blend these also, like I was doing with the other stuff. So let me split this. Okay, so let me click on that one. Okay, so in this situation here, what you can see is I also have all of these overlay filters, which is pretty cool. So I like the plus darker over here for what it is that I'm trying to use this for. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this on all of them. So in order to get to that, I just go into blending once I tap on the track, and then I'm going to go over to plus darker, and then you can see how that just kind of gave that a different feel, and you can still see everything moving. But let's see if we can take this up a notch. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to reverse it. The clip that's down on the bottom and the one that's on the top, we're going to reverse that one also, because we want one going one way and the other one going the other way. There we go. Now let's see what this looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, right? Now, if we want to do this again or do this in another way, one thing that we can do also with these is we can also animate these as well. So here I'm just going to do a slide up. Okay, so with this, what's going to happen is it's going to slide in and kind of give us that letter box. So we just added those. So now I want to long press this and I want to bring it back just a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing for the remember to subscribe, because I want those blocks to come in the bottom. Okay, let's see how this looks. Boom. Now, once you have it made and you have everything looking, you know, the way that you want it to look, and I'm going to mess with this back area just a little bit more also, just because I think it can be better. I'm going to change the filter that I'm using for this. Oh, look at that. That looks good. Or we can black and white it. I think I'm going to go with that blue. Yeah, that looks pretty dope. There we go. Now, once you have your end screen how you want, of course, you're going to add the actual elements inside of YouTube itself, but you need to be able to export this so that when you're editing your video, you can import it back in as a completed end screen. In order to do that, all you do is you go up to export, and then you select the actual size. So if you're shooting in 4K, then of course you'd want to move this out to 4K. If you are doing everything in 1080p, then you could do it as 1080p and then you'll be fine that way. So me, I do everything in 1080p, so I'm just going to leave it at 1080p when I export, and then I can just click up here in the top left to save it to photos, and then it will go ahead and save everything out for me. To learn how to do even more using just your phone, click right here. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.